ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 Faces of Inspiration Gala! All right, now you can hear our studio audience. They are small, but they are mighty. We've got a total of 4 people here at the JFCS offices, and we're going to make sure that you have an amazing time over the next hour. We've got a lot to do. It's an important fundraiser for Gulf Coast, and we're going to talk you through all the opportunities to donate and give throughout the program. But we also want to make sure that we identify and acknowledge early on in this program our honorees, our Lifetime Achievement honorees. Jan and Craig Scher, we will hear from them later in the program, and Barbara Storensis, who is going to be receiving an award named after herself. It is the inaugural award, and you'll understand and be explained exactly what that award is coming up later in the program. Barbara, along with Judy Benjamin, has done an amazing job as the co-chairs of this event leading up to this virtual program. Now, as much as you all are watching us here in the studio, we want to be able to see you. And how do we do that? It's very simple. We want you to send in pictures of yourselves watching the program. People have been sending them in throughout the afternoon already, getting ready for the program. How do you send them to us? It's very, very simple. We want to show them on the screen, but you got to send them to us first. There's 2 different ways to do it. Way number 1 is when you're watching this video program, if you look on the left of your screen, you'll see a button that says submit your photo and best wishes. So all you have to do is tap that button and upload a photo to it. The other way to do it, very simply, is if you want to send the picture right from your phone, you can send a text message, and the number that you text it to is right there. It's 470-410-3044. I'll say it one more time. Maybe write it down if you're not ready to text your picture just yet. 470-410-3044. When you send us your pictures, we're going to put them up on the screen, and it will look like this. There have been some amazing pictures already sent in to the program today. We're going to show them to you a few times throughout the program. So we'll get a chance to look at them now, get a chance to look at them later. And there you see the great photos already have been sent in. Some people sending them in of them watching the program. I think there you see Tony and John Rindy just went by. You see Robin Warren celebrating Jan, Craig, and Barbara. Amazing to send in those pictures. So please continue sending those pictures as we celebrate our honorees and celebrate Gulf Coast JFCS. Now, there's also, as I mentioned, an opportunity to help raise some funds. We're going to give you an opportunity to bid on a couple of auction items. It's not a true live auction format, it's a silent auction, and all bidding is done from your device, whether that be your phone or your laptop or your tablet, however you're watching this program. Once again, on the side of your video player, you're going to see some options to give and to donate. In fact, there's a button that says items, and if you click on items, it'll bring up 3 live auction items. We want to show you those items right now so you have a chance to bid on them, and we will update the bidding throughout the program and let you know who our top bidders are. It is 3 great packages. There is a week-long stay in Deer Valley in Park City for 15 people. Oh, by the way, at Jan and Craig's home, that's theirs. There's also this great gourmet wine dinner at Duncan McClellan's Gallery, which we'll talk about in a moment. And how about the Tampa Bay Lightning's premium suite for 22 people? So let me tell you a little bit about each one of these items. The first one is that Lightning Suite, your Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. You're going to get a chance to pick the game of your choice from next season for you and 21 others. Currently, the bid on that is up to $3,000. Ali Scher is our top bidder on that one. Again, for 22 people. And what I will tell you is the Lightning have already told us that this is the only suite that they are donating like this. The demand is just too great. But because of the shares and because of Gulf Coast JFCS, they have donated that to this auction. So we will acknowledge some of those bidders coming up. But right now, Ali Scher is our top bidder at $3,000. Our second auction lot that we want to tell you about is this unique experience that you may not find at any other auction that you go to. How about this? A dinner party for 20 people. And it's not just anywhere. This setting will be amazing because it will be at Duncan McClellan's Gallery in St. Petersburg. It will be in the garden. It will be white linen tablecloths, 20 people for a reception and a gourmet catered wine dinner. How about this? A private reception and tour while you are there of the galleries. And then you know what? Hold on. What's this? Hold on. Duncan actually wants to throw in something a little bit extra. So Duncan McClellan joins our program right now. What's up, Duncan?
Hey, Jason. I want to do a shout out to both Jan and Craig for all they've done in the community, and this is so wonderful honoring them. I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I think whoever wins this dinner is going to have a great time, and so will their friends. but we want to make it extra special. So we're going to have a demo going on that you'll see everything that an artist does to create a piece, and the lucky winner will be able to keep that. So we are very happy to be a part of this, and thank you very much, and bid high, because this will support the community, and we are really thankful for all that Jan and Craig have done.
All right, Duncan, thanks so much for that one right there, folks. So understand, this party in the gallery now includes a demonstration, a glass-blowing demonstration, where you're going to get a chance to take home the piece of art they create right there in front of you. So we have some bidding going on right now, and I will tell you that Blossom Leibowitz and Julie Clavens are going back and forth, back and forth. They've been going at it since before $3,500. How far back does that go, the two of them? Can you scroll up a little bit more? Look at that. So all the way since it was at $3,500, back and forth, back and forth. It's like a heavyweight boxing match between the two of them. We will update you. There's been a few other people bidding, but we will update you later on the program to see who is leading that auction item and who has won that auction item. And then third and finally, look at this beautiful property. This beautiful property that we're going to send you to in Park City. It's Deer Valley, and it is a 5-star luxury accommodations. This is Craig and Jan Scher's personal home. This is their vacation property. And listen, it is amazing. It's 5,000 square feet. It is 4 stories of perfect Park City accommodations. Walking distance to Deer Valley, high-speed internet, the hot tub, the entertainment center, the billiards table. It is a 1-week stay for up to 15 people while you are there. We opened up the bid on this at just $4,000, and it is already up to $7,500. Marguerite Crawford is our current top bidder. We've had lots of great bidding on this one. Susan Ramsey got in, Judy Benjamin got in, and then Marguerite came back, and they've been going back and forth on this now. So right now it's at $7,500. Understand that the so-called retail value on something like this is upwards of $14,000. So right now we're at $7,500. As I mentioned, we will continue to check in on that throughout the program. Now, there will be lots of times to give throughout the program as well. And remember, all donating and all bidding is done through your device. So to the left of your video player, if you're watching this on full screen, you have to minimize your video player so that you can see all the options to give around. You can donate at any time throughout the program, but we will have a specific part of the program that we talk you through that. If you can't figure out any of those buttons or anywhere to go to donate or give, all you have to do, and you see it on the screen right there, actually it's on this side over here, right? We want to make sure you know where to do it to. It's text the word FACES 2021 to 76278. It's that simple. Just text that word, FACES 2021, to 76278. All right. Now, Gulf Coast JFCS reaches thousands of people a year. In fact, last year it was 37,000. From the smallest babies to our senior citizens, 80, 90 plus years old. The babies, the children, the families, the seniors, people facing mental and behavioral health, people challenged with addiction, with Alzheimer's, people who have food insecurity. We support refugees who want to learn to thrive in their new country. But our very core outreach, our Jewish community, and more specifically, our Holocaust survivors. They're now in their 80s and 90s, and never before have they been in so much need as we want to be able to provide to them, so that they can live the rest of their lives with dignity, safely, and comfortably. We'll meet one of those special survivors coming up later in the program. Gulf Coast also helps children that are in need of a stable and safe environment. We're about to introduce you to 2 young children. When they were 4 and 1 year old, they tragically lost their mother. The name of tonight's program is Faces of Inspiration. The inspiration that comes from, yes, the honorees that we mentioned earlier in the program, the Schers and Barbara Storensis. But there's also inspiration that comes from those who may not have even realized that they were going to be an inspiration. But they lean on programs that Gulf Coast has that has revealed their inspiration, like this program, the Gulf Coast Kinship Support Program.
She was very lovable, man. Very lovable. You ever meet her, her heart was just so big, so big. So it was amazing to know her. It really was, man. You meet angels, and when they leave, it's kind of tough, And then for them to be so young and had this tragic accident, it's kind of like somebody had to be there for them, Somebody had to be there for them, and it's amazing to even get to know them because they're actually awesome. And you look at them, they love each other. Like, she kept the love between them two. They play with each other all the time, and tell you the truth, it's actually amazing, for the kids to actually be here with us, believe it or not. So I wouldn't call us a hero, I just say good godparents.
Tiffany and Anio are very special. From the moment that we met them, their compassion for these children, the circumstances that led to the children's mother's death, and their willingness to jump in and do whatever it is that needs to be done to help the children. They were willing to work with us regularly. They really wanted help in order to be the best caregivers that they could be for these little boys who had experienced so much.
So she was there with absolutely everything that we needed. I don't care what time of day it was. She picked up the phone. We did the Christmas thing. They gave us food for Christmas, gave them gifts for Christmas. They were everything that we could imagine for that backup that we needed. If I needed someone to talk to about the situation, with Stacy or anything, she was there. It was never not a time that she did not pick up the phone whatsoever.
The organization is everything. If anything comes about with this adoption process, they have been there.
Gulf Coast meets families where they're at and is able to scaffold them until they're able to be successful and happy and thriving on their own. That's what we're here to do.
If you need help and if you present it, don't be scared to ask for it, because I was. And she was there.
To me, I think they're the best right now, They really are. They are actually awesome because they was here.
Good evening. I'm Barbara Storenzis, this year's Faces of Inspiration co-chair, along with my good friend, Judy Benjamin. We are very thankful you have joined us tonight for a special and important program.
Welcome. I'm told we have several hundred guests tuning in tonight to join us in celebrating some very special people and their involvement with Gulf Coast JFCS. I'm excited for all the eyes on us tonight. Most importantly, the enormously important work of Gulf Coast. While we wish we could be together in person, I too want to thank each and every one of you for being with us to learn more about Gulf Coast JFCS and how your support dramatically helps thousands of people in our community every year. And by the way, we still want to see you. Barbara and I will be available, as will Jan and Craig Share, in a special meet and greet virtual room after the show. So please stay through the program and stop by and say hi afterward.
Gulf Coast JFCS helps people, from babies to seniors in our community, who are in crisis or urgently need assistance. Stories like the one you just heard are repeated every day, ultimately giving people hope and optimism for their futures. Judy and I both have been involved for many years and have seen firsthand the many ways Gulf Coast touches lives. Your support directly helps more people receive the assistance they need to navigate often complex life challenges. Your compassion and support changes, uplifts lives to make a lasting difference. You'll learn more about this in a moment. But before we do, we'd like to thank our sponsors and some special people who assisted us in raising what we hope will be record-setting financial support for Gulf Coast JFCS tonight.
Yes, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, whose generous contribution and assistance in inviting others to participate was essential to our success tonight. Their names are listed here on the screen and in the event program, which you can access by clicking on the program link. And we'd also like to thank all contributors, regardless of size of gift, because collectively, these funds are transformative in enabling Gulf Coast JFCS to reach more people with meaningful, life-changing resources. Barbara and I would especially like to thank our presenting sponsors tonight, also friends and longtime supporters and leaders within Gulf Coast JFCS, Jan and Craig Scher and the Sembler Company. With us tonight to add to our celebration is Brent Sembler, a nearly 30-year supporter of Gulf Coast. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you, Judy. I'm really happy to be here tonight, happy to be honoring Jan and Craig, very important part of my life, very important part of our community life here in St. Petersburg. So here's a big hug for you. I've always loved the Gulf Coast mission. It's a Jewish mission, but it's all about community. And people go through bad times, and people need this agency in bad times. Our giving has been directed because we want Gulf Coast to be around and to continue providing these services. Debbie and I would like to congratulate you, Barbara, on your many gifts to Gulf Coast. The gift of your time and of your talents has benefited the agency in really tough times. The programming that we provide is the glue that holds communities together. And I like that about Gulf Coast, and I like that about Jewish Family Services.
Thank you, Brent. You and Debbie and your entire family support means so much to accomplishing this life-changing outreach. As Brent says, we have the opportunity tonight to raise just a little bit more funding to help a very special group of individuals in our community, our treasured Holocaust survivors whose needs for personal home and medical care only grow with the passing weeks and months. We want to help them in their hour of need. We'll tell you more about this later in the program, or in the meantime, you can learn more by clicking the one-to-one match for Holocaust Survivor Fund link on the screen. It's now my pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Gulf Coast JFCS, Dr. Sandra Bram.
Thank you for joining us for this incredible evening, and a very special thanks to our co-chairs, Barbara and Judy. At this time, I'd like to present a special award. Barbara Storenzis joined the board of Gulf Coast JFCS in July 2004 under the leadership of its founding CEO, Michael Bernstein. For the next 15 years, Barbara served as one of the most engaged volunteers since the agency's inception. Throughout her board tenure, Barbara committed herself to learning all aspects of board service, spending time on most, if not all, board committees. Barbara's committee service included finance, trustees, governance, annual gala, development, and the CEO search committee. As a member of the executive committee, Barbara's service included terms as secretary, chair-elect, and board chair. In addition to her board roles, Barbara provided direct support as a program volunteer, providing substantial assistance to help young women and families in the agency's woman-to-woman program, Jewish Family Services and Refugee Resettlement, where she helped to collect items to furnish homes and sat in airports during all hours of the night, waiting to welcome refugee families to America and Tampa Bay. In 2018, 19, and 2021, Barbara also served as co-chair of our signature fundraiser, the annual Faces Gala. Barbara continued her service on the board through a difficult period of turnover in the executive office. This followed the tragic deaths of two executives that occurred within a 5-year period. In 2014, Barbara stepped in to lead the agency, which was embroiled in grief. She gave up her personal life, routine, and stepped into the role of interim president and CEO for 2 full weeks, affording the board and staff the time to address the crisis of an unexpected vacancy in the office of the CEO. Since that time, Barbara has maintained her support and encouragement to the agency's administrative team by providing her handmade and aptly named Curly Girl annual holiday treats each December. She reminds the staff that their work is appreciated and that she cares. In 2018, Barbara was instrumental in leading the effort to update the agency's signature Faces book, which highlights Gulf Coast JFCS programs, clients, and volunteers. Faces builds on the breathtaking photography of Sonia Raymond, and the table book is utilized throughout the region, given as a special gift to persons who have provided high-level support for our programs. We are thrilled that Faces second edition is hot off the press and will be made available to donors who give at the $1,000 level, joining other major donors in our Tree of Life Circle. Barbara was inducted as an emeritus trustee for Gulf Coast JFCS in June 2019, and she continues to give her time, talent, and treasures in support of the agency's mission to protect the vulnerable and help people achieve fulfilling lives by empowering individuals and strengthening families. Tonight, I am honored to present the inaugural Barbara G. Starenzis Distinguished Service Award. In future years, deserving volunteers will receive this award to commemorate their demonstrated commitment to Gulf Coast JFCS. The award recognizes years of board and/or committee service, volunteering in direct support of agency programs, and demonstrated actions in support of the well-being of agency staff. I'm pleased to invite Barbara Starenzis, award recipient, and chairman of our board, Eric Fader, to join me.
Congratulations, Barbara.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra, for your very kind words. It is a great honor to share this evening with my dear friends, Craig and Jan Scher, who are being presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award, as well as the truly inspiring heroes of Gulf Coast, Betty Goldberg, Tiffany and Anio Felix, and Michelle Roller. Gulf Coast JFCS has been part of my life for more than 2 decades. Let me tell you a little about my Gulf Coast journey. I was invited to join several nonprofit boards after the sale of our home medical equipment business in the 90s. I chose Gulf Coast because it was an agency that had the potential to grow and diversify and continue to serve vulnerable people in meaningful ways. Gulf Coast has been a real education for me, not only allowing me to fulfill my responsibilities of Tikkun Olam, repairing our broken world, but also challenging my retired mind with its myriad of diverse programming, detailed accounting, and finance work, and the HR challenges that come with the staff of over 500 people. Over the past 20 years, serving in a variety of board leadership positions, including board chair for 2 terms, I am so grateful and feel incredibly fortunate to have spent time with staff members, everyone from CEOs to program managers to social workers to receptionists, and to have developed deep, meaningful relationships with key staff. Their dedication and investment in their jobs and Gulf Coast clients is undeniably apparent and truly amazing. Looking back, I hope that I was able to enrich, comfort, and motivate the staff as much as they have enriched my life. My Gulf Coast journey allowed me the opportunity to work on the production and development of 2 Faces books with my good friend and talented photographer, Sonia Raymond, and to meet clients for most of Gulf Coast's programs while seeing, understanding, and feeling the outcomes of our programs. Let me tell you about a couple programs that come to mind. The Alternative Family Program is a program based on the therapeutic home concept where trained sponsors open their homes to adults with severe, debilitating mental illness and treat them as family members. During our preparation of the Faces 1 book, Sonia and I spent an afternoon in a small home in St. Petersburg with Betty, a retired nurse, and the 3 clients with schizophrenia that had been living together with her for 13 years. They operate as a family, planning holidays, vacations, and everyday schedules together. Each client had his own space, which reflected his wants, needs, and hobbies. This home was a place to grow and flourish, filled with warmth and love, much different than life in a state institution. The Holocaust Survivor Program has special meaning to me. My in-laws were Holocaust survivors, and after Joe and I went on a 2-week fact-finding trip to learn more about his family's roots in Poland, my connection to this program grew stronger. Holocaust survivors are aging and dying, and it is imperative that we provide services to make their final years as safe, comfortable, and happy as possible. This is Tikkun Olam 101. Gulf Coast has been part of the Storensis and Grossman family since the 90s. My parents, Sheila and Joel Grossman, may their memory be a blessing, have been role models for giving back both with time and money my whole life, and they were financial supporters of Gulf Coast. Joe has been a board member and is an emeritus trustee. As a family in the 90s, we made several trips to the airport equipped with balloons, flowers, signs, and smiles to greet Soviet Jewish refugees as they arrived in our community. Both of my daughters, Abby and Lauren, had bat mitzvah tzedakah projects to provide the Gulf Coast Food Bank with canned goods. My daughter, Lauren, was the first teenager to serve on a Gulf Coast committee, an advisory committee for Yad B'Yad with Florence Fayer and Gert Dabowski. My daughter, Abby, currently chairs the Refugee Advisory Board and is a trustee on the Gulf Coast Board. L'Ador V'Dor, Gulf Coast will always be a part of my life. Thank you again for the incredible honor of creating an annual leadership award in my name. I couldn't be more excited to accept the first annual Barbara Grossman Storensis Distinguished Leadership Award.
Good evening. I'm Eric Fader, Gulf Coast JFCS Board Chairman. I'm proud to represent this amazing organization because of the life-changing difference they make for people in our own community every day. Barbara, on behalf of the Gulf Coast JFCS Board of Directors, I'd like to also extend my appreciation for your years of service and devotion, which has helped this organization become so immensely impactful to thousands in our community. I'm proud to be following in your leadership footsteps. I and the Board of Directors are deeply grateful to you. Gulf Coast JFCS is proud to serve those in need in our community, regardless of religious affiliation, age, race, gender, or ethnicity. Our mission is, inspired by Jewish values, we protect the vulnerable, empower individuals, and strengthen families. The Felix family story is a great example of Gulf Coast JFCS programs in action. Daily, our programs reach a wide spectrum of people, from babies to seniors, to provide the tools, resources, and compassionate support needed to enable those facing adversity to feel understood, safe, hopeful, and empowered to make positive changes in their lives. This occurs through more than 40 distinct programs under the major outreach categories of Jewish and Family Services and Holocaust survivors, children and families, refugees, elderly and disabled, behavioral health, workforce development, community programs. Last year, these programs reached nearly 37,000 people, many of whom benefited from more than one Gulf Coast JFCS program. We like to say, as our tagline indicates, we uplift lives. Our next honoree is another inspiring example of a mother who, with the help of Gulf Coast JFCS, overcame her own drug addiction and other life challenges so that she could retain custody of her children. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Michelle and our Safe at Home program. Thank you.
Protector. And I have to learn to have personality. My daughter was 17, and Hannah was going to 5th grade. And she said that my 17-year-old daughter sexually molested her. And my other child, my Leah, as well.
Save at Home is an intensive in-home program that provides counseling services and case management services to families while they have an open investigation with Child Protective Investigation through the Sheriff's Office. Save at Home in-home services was a better option for Michelle at the time because she wanted to work services and she wanted to do better versus having the kids removed or having them out of the house.
Because I knew that I could do this, I knew that my family could do this, but I had to be the first one to initiate it and decide that this had to change, that my family dynamics had to change.
Michelle is just a very genuine person. She's just a good person. She's made a lot of mistakes in her life. She's done a lot of things, kind of gone off grid, but she is just a really good-hearted, genuine person.
I want them to have seen a difference in me and how I parent them, and ready for them to venture out into the world and be able to be children.
So once we were able to get her back on her medication, get her in with a psychiatrist, get the kids in with a psychiatrist, we were really able to nail down what we wanted to focus on and provide those services that we needed.
And now we do things together. We go on walks, we go to the mall, we go to the park. I mean, as little things are starting to open, we do different things at the school. It's been different. It's been like I had a whole nother life, like a whole nother second chance, and second chance was well worth it.
Another great success story. We could have picked from hundreds of success stories to share with you. But I will tell you that all of these stories that we get a chance to share with you are because of people like you who watch programs like this, who help raise those critical funds that allow Gulf Coast to do the work that they do in this community. Now, as we get ready to keep rolling through the program, we do want to check in on a few things. First are those 3 auction items, right? We've mentioned that we're going to check in on them throughout the program. Right now, we've got our Lightning Suite that is up to $5,500. That's been going back and forth between Zach Coopersmith and Paul and Janet Adams. Right now, the bid at $5,500. The next one is the Duncan McClellan Gallery Dinner for 20. 20 people in on that one. And that right now, Blossom Leibowitz is our top bidder on that one. Natalie Gabicki has been in on that one. Julie Clavens has been in on that one. So again, you've got some time until the end of the program, but these are all the top bidders to this point. And then there's the Deer Valley Park City accommodations for up to 15 people. Right now, Andrea Silverman is our top bidder at $9,000. Diane Kamens was in on that at $8,500. Marguerite Crawford at $7,500. So folks, keep those bids going. We will give you one last warning at the end of the program when you will have 1 minute left to bid on those items. So I encourage you, get those bids in now, because you don't want to miss out on that at the end of the program. We also want to check in on our photo wall. People have been sending in pictures all program long of them enjoying the program, of them honoring our honorees. And take a look at this. How do you send them in? Very simple. Either look at the button on the left of your screen and you can tap on that says submit your photo, or you can text the picture into 470-410-3044. And when you send them in, we're going to put them up on the screen. We've been getting dozens of photos. People have been sending them in. It will look like this when we put them up on the screen. And you're going to get a chance to see those who are watching the program, enjoying the program. You see the ambassador and the assemblers are there. They've sent in some pictures. You see a great photo there with a really handsome person on the video monitor behind him. That'd be me. But keep taking those pictures. Show us you watching the program and honoring our Gulf Coast JFC Faces program. Now, as we keep rolling through the program, we do want you to know this part of the program is one of the most important. We call it the Bid from the Heart. And in the Bid from the Heart, it's not about auction items. There's no contest or games that we're going to ask you to donate towards. It's all about donating to a specific program. And here to tell you a little bit about that program and introduce you to one of the people who is most impacted by this program, we'd like to bring back Barbara and Judy.
While Gulf Coast JFCS serves all people, regardless of religious affiliation, we remain devoted to individuals and families in need in our Jewish community. Tonight, we are pleased to specifically highlight our Holocaust Survivor Program, through which some 250 local Holocaust survivors receive comfort, care, and assistance of a variety of types from Gulf Coast. You'll learn more in a moment about how you can help us do more, but first, I would like to introduce you to a very special lady, Mrs. Betty Goldberg.
In the middle of the night, I hear bang, bang, bang. And I thought they could hear me breathe. I was so scared. I was 9 years old. Bang, bang, bang. My father found out that he was going to be sent to Auschwitz. And he said to this man, "You must do me a great favor. Go to Paris and pick up my wife and my little girl." And the master said, "Consider it done." So we went to his house, and I stayed with them for the duration of the war, 4 years. My father was sent to Auschwitz. The war ended, so the first thing my mother did was to come to where I was living to pick me up. We walked to the next station, and my mother went to the ticket office, and she says, "I need 2 tickets to Paris, but I don't have any money." And the man said, "My poor woman, you don't owe me anything. Here are 2 tickets." We're in Paris, and a few of the inmates came back, just a few, and they were registered in the hotel. There was a list, a short list of a few men who came back, and we used to go every day. My father was not there. A few weeks later, there's a knock on the door. I opened the door, and I let out a scream, "Papa!" There is my father. Looked like a skeleton, shaven, and as skinny as a toothpick, but alive. And there he was.
Her father survived Auschwitz because he had a beautiful voice, and he used to entertain the officers, and the head commander loved to hear him sing, and he knew how to sing in German, so that's what saved him. The Holocaust Survivor Program is in existence because of the Claims Conference, who negotiates on behalf of survivors. Holocaust survivors are a finite group of people. Once the last survivor is gone, there are no more. And these people suffered great atrocities and had their lives ripped from them, and they deserve to be taken care of until the last one is alive. For Betty, that meant us helping her with some restitution opportunities, which have then opened the door for her to get other services from us.
They were able to get me a sum of money from the French, believe it or not. The French, after so many years, I guess, had a twinge of conscience, and they gave me some money, and they are instrumental in getting me the money, the Gulf Coast.
She's receiving home care assistance now from the program, from the Claims Conference. We've eliminated a worry for her because we hope that she has many more years to live. And she needs round-the-clock care. So in order for her to get that care, and not have to deplete everything that she has. That's what the program's about, keeping her here in her home, living out the rest of her days with dignity and peace, and she deserves that.
They are wonderful people. They care for me, and they take care of me, and I think that's all I could ask for.
You know, the work that we do is so important. The work that we do is just so important.
Betty's story is an inspiration. Her courage and that of her family to survive and thrive despite the atrocity of the Holocaust and its effect on her family and community. Gulf Coast JFCS serves some 200 Holocaust survivors in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, Pasco, and Sarasota counties. These individuals are in their 80s and 90s, many of whom have limited financial resources to cover the high cost of personal home care, medical and dental care, and basic food and shelter needs. And because of their age, their needs are only increasing. We have a special opportunity tonight to raise additional funds to cover as many current unmet needs as possible in the months ahead. While we already provide an estimated 3,200 hours of home care a week for these individuals, approximately 1,200 additional hours per week are still needed for about 140 people. This equates to about 8 hours of care per week per person. Our goal tonight is to raise an additional $100,000 towards this unmet need so that our local Holocaust survivors can receive the same care necessary in their final years. An example of how specific funding levels make a difference. $10,000 funds 8 additional hours per week for a year for one survivor. $5,000 offers restorative dental care for 2 people. This is especially needed for this population given the malnutrition many of them suffered in their youth. $1,800 provides food assistance for 18 survivors, and $500 gives 2 survivors medical alert systems for 1 year. And to sweeten this opportunity, I have some special news to share tonight. Thanks to our partnership with the Federation of Florida's Gulf Coast and the Kavod Chef Fund, contributions made tonight will be matched 1-to-1. So please be as generous as you can and help us take care of this very special treasured group of people in their urgent hour of need.
Judy, thank you. This is it, the bid from the heart. We're not going to give you an auction item. We're not going to play any sort of games. We're going to ask you to bid and give from the bottom of your heart directly to our mission. And Judy just talked about that mission so beautifully after seeing the amazing story of Betty and the support that we're able to give her and the almost 250 Holocaust survivors in our community. Please understand that every dollar that we raise over the next 6 or 7 minutes goes directly to the Holocaust Survivors Fund. We're lucky enough to have a $75,000 match to get to our $100,000 goal. So please understand that $75,000 match comes from Kavod Chef and also from the Seed the Dream Foundation. They have said that we believe in this mission. We hope you will too. So for the first $75,000 of this $100,000 that we're about to raise, it will be matched dollar for dollar. Your $1,000 donation becomes $2,000. Your $5,000 becomes $10,000. It's that easy. The way for the Bid from the Heart program works is I'm going to call out some dollar amounts. And as I call out those dollar amounts that we get to the number that you're willing to give, some of them will start high and then we're going to work our way down. Our goal is to have 100% participation from everyone watching. It's very simple. Whatever device you're watching the program on right now, on the left of your screen, you'll see some donate buttons. If you're watching on your phone, just scroll below the video player. It's under there. And all the options that you're able to give are shown right there on your screen. You tap that button. We see it here in the studio. We celebrate and we raise money for our Holocaust Survivors Fund for people like Betty. To get to that $100,000 goal, my first ask this evening is for a $25,000 donation. At the $25,000 level, you're able to provide urgent care for 2 survivors with the most unmet needs. Is there a $25,000 donor out there? You're going to see the names scrolling on the screen, and we're going to be able to acknowledge them. We did just get a $25,000 donation. How about that? Tikva Suncoast has come in with $25,000 for our program. We're already up to $46,000. We will acknowledge many of these donors throughout the program, but right now, Tikva Suncoast, your $25,000 is a springboard for our Bid from the Heart. Who else at $25,000? Understand that Tikva Suncoast hasn't put up any sort of match. They just got up there and said, I believe in this mission to the tune of $25,000. Who will follow our lead? But know that because of the match from Kavod Chef and Seed the Dream Foundation, that $25,000 is $50,000, just like that. Who else at $25,000? Anyone else? How about at the $10,000 level? At the $10,000, we will be able to provide those urgent care services for 1 survivor. What are urgent care services? It's 8 to 10 additional hours a week in the Holocaust survivor's home, helping make sure that they get meals, give them transportation, make sure that their personal hygiene is kept up. Are there $10,000 donors out there? We did just get another one. I saw that grow right there, a $10,000. Wait, let me check this right here. Can we go to the other screen? I want to make sure that I have this right, because my math tells me that that might be $15,000. Did that one come in at 15? Yep. We have a $15,000 donation. We got to process these reports here. Lots of technology going on here in front of me, right? My $15,000 donation has come in from Maurice A. and Thelma Rothman Family Foundation, $15,000. We are at $63,980. They said, Jason, don't call 10,000 when we want to give 15. So we'll take the 15, thank you. Who else at 10,000 or 15,000? Anyone else at those levels? I'm going to keep watching the screen right here and watch them as they grow. You see the names on the screen here, Susan Ramsey and Loria Mark and Zena and Marty, thank you. Dina and Lauren, we will thank all those donors as we go through our program. Anyone else at 10,000 or above? The good news is we have a lot to scroll through to see what is coming in, right? Who else? Where are my donors at $5,000? Understand that at the $5,000 level, it's restorative dental care for those 80 and 90-year-old Holocaust survivors. We talked about Betty being 9 years old during the Holocaust. She's still with us. So at the $5,000 level, we can provide restorative dental work for 2 survivors. Who's in at the 5? We have a $5,000 donation from Blossom Leibowitz. Blossom is in at $5,000. Blossom, thank you so much. Who else at $5,000? We're up to $78,034. Where are my other $5,000 donors? We're going to keep watching our screens here. I know so many donations have come in throughout the program. We want to make sure we acknowledge as many of them as we can. Where are my donors at $5,000? We'll scroll to the top one more time. Anyone else at 5,000? Okay, so I want to make sure that's correct, right? So Blossom Leibowitz gave 5,000. Blossom has also given 10,000 for a total donation of $15,000 from the Leibowitz family. Thank you. Who else at 5,000 and above? As I mentioned, so many of these names here are scrolling, and we want to acknowledge and thank as many of them as possible. But where are my donors at $2,500? At the $2,500 level, the type of thing you'll be able to fund is food for those who are food insecure. Food insecurity for 18 Holocaust survivors. Hi, we do it right that for a reason. $2,500 supports that as part of our program here. Who is in at $2,500? I know I saw one a moment ago. We want to make sure we acknowledge that $2,500 donation that came in. We have a $2,500 donation from Lorna Taylor is in at $2,500. How about that? Lorna, thank you so much. We're over $80,000. Let's keep creeping up to that $100,000 mark. Who else at $2,500? We see the other donations that have come in from Martin and Lisa and Will Conroy. Suzanne Costanza, thank you. Marguerite Crawford, thank you. But who at $2,500? Who is in at some of these other levels here that we can acknowledge and call out? Anyone else at $2,500? At the $1,800, Andrea and Matt Silverman are in at $1,800. Round of applause there. Thank you. Elizabeth Samuelson in at $1,800 as well. Thank you for supporting Gulf Coast JFCS. Who else at $2,500 or $1,800 and above? We're almost at $82,000. The beauty here is we already talked about that $75,000 match. So we've got that already, and that's amazing. So now we're going to call for our $1,000 level. At the $1,000 level, you'll be providing housing assistance for those in the most need. Housing expenses will be paid for so many of our Holocaust survivors who need that. Where are my $1,000 donors to help us creep up closer to $90,000? Lots have come in at $1,000. I'd love to see this, right? We got 1,000 from Renee Arnold and 1,000 from Natalie Gabicki. That's right, keep those applause going. 1,000 from Diane Kamens. Thank you to Diane. 1,000 from Fagel Oxman. Thank you to the Oxmans. Ezra and Skipper Singer are in at $1,000. Thank you. Susie Berman is a $1,000 donor. Thank you. We are at $85,000 almost. Who else at $1,000? Who else can tap that button? Remember, all donations are made right from this screen right here, whether it be your phone or your laptop or your tablet. Tap that $1,000 donation button and help us get upwards to $90,000. Who else is in at $1,000? Let's see if other ones have come into this point. Who else at $1,000? We mentioned that $1,800 level that certainly we understand. We want to be able to give at those levels. We're at $85,113. I mentioned that one already. We're perfect there, yeah. Anyone else at $1,000? We'll watch the screen continue to scroll here that have come in at different levels throughout the night. Fabiola Gutierrez, Tanya Hernandez, Lizette, thank you. Ronnie Eigel, Kay Jacobs, Diane Kamens, thank you for your donations. Anyone else at $1,000 and above before we move on? We're at $85,113. How about our $500 donors? And what I love about this $500 donation level is that you're funding the medical alert system for one survivor. Think about that. You could personally help save a life because they're wearing a medical alert bracelet that you help provide with your $500 donation. That's the type of thing this $500 funds. We're at $86,749. Lots of $500 donations have come in. So how about get those round of applause going for Mark and Louisa Benjamin at $500. Jillian Brandeis in at $500. Martin Burrell is a $500 donor. Karen Grabow, thank you. Mary, Joe, and Rob Swiggett is a $500 donor. Helen Levine, Deborah Momberg, to Debbie and Joel, thank you. Rachel Ween is in at $500. Will Conroy gave $500 twice, so we're going to call him a $1,000 donor. So Will Conroy. Marguerite Crawford is in as one of our donors. Thank you. Lizette Hainwitz got that one at $500. Anyone else at $500 and above? We're at $88,799. Who can help us at that $500 level and above? Anyone else? We're creeping up to that $90,000 mark. We'll watch here one more time and see if other $500 donations have come in. The technology here is amazing. I got screens here showing me the scroll that you all are seeing. I got screens here showing me other donations that have come in. Anyone else at the $500 level? I think we got all those. All right. How about we do this? How about I ask for the $250 level? Whether it's $250 or $360 high times 2, now's the time to put those in. At the $250 level, you will help provide wheelchair transportation for those who need it most, to be able to get to appointments and, quite frankly, to be able to get outdoors and breathe that fresh air. Where are my donors at $250 for Gulf Coast JFCS? The $250, we got some $360 donation that have come in. Rabbi Michael Torup is in at $360. Lauren Salit is in at $360. Dina Saganer at $300. Lots of donors at $250. The Bernsteins, the Amatos, the Bakers at $250. Vivian Fueo at $250. Lonnie Karakaf at $250, Paul Tash at $250, Ron Wheeler at $250, Gary Gould is a $250 donor, Susan Ramsey at $250, Ali Sher at $250. Folks, here's what we're going to do. We're at $94,049. I'm going to do now what I call the all call. That's where we ask for any dollar amount at any level that you're comfortable giving. Remember, you hit all the buttons that you want to. Underneath all the buttons, there is a field that simply says Other. You can put any dollar amount there to give at those levels. Who else will give to help us creep up closer to that $100,000 mark? We're at $94,049. Who's going to give to our mission? Who's going to give to those Holocaust survivors now to make that difference? Lots of great donations that have come in. I want to make sure that we called all those. I think we acknowledged all those throughout. Did we get Stuart Burney? I don't know if we got that one, but Stuart was in at $1,000. Vicki Hanno's a new one at $1,000 donor. Thank you. Oh, look at the Rabbi Michael Torp is also in at $1,000. He gave $360 as well. Thank you. You know what? This is an important reminder. This is the Faces book that we talked about earlier. All donors at $1,000 and above are going to get one of our Faces of Gulf Coast JFCS books. Understand that this is the type of thing that is hot off the presses. We just got them today. So all donors at $1,000 and above get one of our Faces book. This is the second edition, and we all know how important this is to those in our community. Anyone else? I think we got some technology going on over here too that I can announce it. Let's bring that scroll up one more time so I can see that, because we're at $96,559, which means that a donation of $3,441 gets us to that $100,000 mark. So we're going to keep watching the screen here. Susan, do you want me to hold up for a minute? We have something to announce? We're about to wrap it up. You just want to call it out to me? Dave Pilkington is a $500 donor. So Dave, thank you so much, folks. We're at $97,469.
Thank you to Mike and Sandy Slomka for $1,000.
Mike and Sandy Slomka at $1,000. Thank you so much there. So here's what I will tell you. We're going to have an opportunity to insert some of these donations that have come in here via text or phone call. You all can continue to give throughout the program to help us get over that $100,000 mark. And we will show this once again at the end of our program so we can celebrate not only the $97,000 we got to this point, the $75,000 match that we got from the Kavod Chef, and the Seed the Dream Foundation. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting Gulf Coast JFCS tonight in our Bid from the Heart. Now, it is time now to move on with the program. And where do we move on to? It's now time for tonight's Lifetime Achievement Award winners. And here to introduce that award is what turned out to be my co-MCs for the program. I welcome back Barbara and Judy.
Now for the special presentation tonight of the Lifetime Achievement Award. Jan and Craig share our love and generosity in action. Those of us who are blessed to know them as friends and colleagues know what this looks like on pretty much a daily basis. They are a dynamic duo of a couple who have touched so many lives with their generosity and their love. Really, too many to count. Many of you watching tonight who have so generously contributed for tonight's program likely know this firsthand as well. Both of them have and continue to serve in a variety of leadership roles with Gulf Coast JFCS. Jan has served as a trustee on the Gulf Coast Board, co-chaired the FACES event twice, and is currently an emeritus trustee. Craig has been a legislative liaison, co-chaired the CEO Search Committee, and served on an advisory board. Together, they spearheaded the Pinellas County Jewish Demographic Study. They have held leadership roles at Temple Bethel, the Dali Museum, the James Museum, Shorecrest Preparatory School, John Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Federation, Israel Bonds, Academy Prep, Pinellas Education Foundation, Tampa Bay Lightning Foundation, Starting Right Now, Arts, and Art Festival Bethel, to name a few. The pandemic has helped all of us to have a better understanding of the word grateful. And grateful is how I feel about my good friends, Jan and Craig Share. They are always available whenever you need them, with a true, heartfelt desire to help in any way they can. They are positive, kind, smart, loyal, hopeful, and hardworking. When they commit, you know that whatever they have committed to will be done. Jan and Craig are the embodiment of Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. And I think most people would agree that they are Tikkun Olam on steroids. Personally, my family has shared joys, sorrow, success, failure, adventures, travel, holidays, and life cycle events with the Share family. We are just like family, and for this, I am eternally grateful. Let's learn some more about tonight's Lifetime Achievement Award honorees, Jan and Craig share.
They give of not only their resources, but of their time and their effort and their leadership. That's very important in philanthropy, and they do all of that.
Being philanthropic and giving back and having the heart to help was never something that was explicitly taught to me. It was just part of who my parents were and who my grandparents were.
One of their philosophies, I think, is being doers rather than thinkers. I think they like to actually take action and have an impact and not necessarily just talk about it.
How can we do things differently? And how can we make this community, whether it's our small family community or the larger community, even better for everyone, not just for ourselves?
And you go down the list and almost all of the major charitable organizations in this community have been touched by Janet Craig at some point, and that is staggering.
When I think of Jan and Craig, 4 words come to my mind: family, community, joy, and love. They bring so much to the community by all their energy and all their love, and they want to make it a better place.
I think for both my parents, they're always motivated by the question, how can we make this better? Even if something is going well, how can we take it to the next level? They always are strategically thinking about what they can do, what they can get their friends to do, and how they can make an even bigger impact.
They're busy people, and if you want anything done, see a busy person. And those two are always busy because they're always reaching out, and they're community builders.
All of their community involvement, they would never think of as work. I think it's something that they're passionate about and that they love doing, and that's contagious. And so it makes us to want to also have an impact because we see the value it brings to other people, but also how it enriches their own life.
The expectation was not that you go home at night and you relax on your couch. That was the time for community engagement, for board service, for volunteer work. And Janet Craig, from day one, it was easy to see the example they gave by virtue of what they did themselves.
And I think if you look at each of our paths, all 4 of our paths will included, they're unique, but they always have this key component of making the world a better place.
Jan and Craig modeled after their parents. They learned of giving back at an early age, and now it's second nature to them.
Our grandparents really set the tone for bringing in people and helping out their community and showing everyone in our family that that was a really important value that we hold.
Growing up in our family, it wasn't just my parents, but my grandparents too, who kind of set the tone, thinking about not just ourselves, but our immediate family, our larger friends and family, and the community at large.
We're fortunate to have been put in the position to give back and to make it a priority in our lives because of the work that the generations before us have done. We hope to continue to pass that on to our kids.
Our congratulations to Craig and Jan on receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award, and thank you for all the wonderful things you do for our community.
L'adore Vador, from generation to generation. Congratulations. I am so proud of you. To you.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. I'm so proud to be your daughter every day, and I'm so happy that everyone else is acknowledging all the amazing work that you do. As a side note, thanks for setting the bar so high for us. We all have such a high standard to live up to, but I'm so excited for the challenge. Love you so much.
Mom and Dad, I'm proud that you're my parents every single day, grateful that you're my parents every single day, and so thankful that you've let people celebrate you, because that doesn't happen too often. So I love you around the world and back, infinity times, forever and a day, and I'm proud to be your daughter.
Janet Craig, Mom and Dad, Honey and Pops, we couldn't be more proud of you today and every day.
We love you around the world and back, infinity times, forever and a day.
My mom, Marilyn Benjamin, Stacy, Will, Allie, Jess, and Ambassador Sembler expressed so well what many of us feel and know about Jan and Craig. To me, it's not what we have, but who we have in life that matters. Jan and Craig are much more than just cousins to me. They're siblings and lifelong friends. Our lives, as were the lives of our parents, are intertwined. From Sunday night dinners when we were growing up to holidays and travel as adults, it's hard for me to think of a meaningful moment in my life that I haven't shared with Jan and Craig. Just as they have been ever present in my life, Jan and Craig have been equally present in our community. They live life to its fullest, laugh, and lead selflessly by example. Their lifelong commitments and genuine care and concern for others are inspiring. They always say yes, helping so many in need, and have had a profound impact on our community. As is the case for me, I know many of you in this room have been inspired by Jan and Craig and the work they do for Gulf Coast JFCS and throughout the community. We are truly blessed to have them in our lives. Jan and Craig, it is my deepest privilege to award you both with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Please, everyone at home, join me in congratulating Jan and Craig with this honor.
Good evening. Many thanks for joining us to support the tremendous efforts of Gulf Coast JFCS. Thanks to everyone that said such nice things about us on the video. If only half of that was true. We are incredibly humbled and honored to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. The only downside is that being recognized for a lifetime of achievements means that you are old. It seems like just yesterday we were getting Young Leadership and Up-and-Comer awards. Before we go any further, we also want to give a huge mazel tov to our very special friend, Barbara. No one is more deserving of an award in their honor.
As you have seen tonight, Gulf Coast is an amazing, impactful organization. For over 60 years, Gulf Coast has protected our most vulnerable and helped people achieve fulfilling lives by empowering individuals and strengthening families. To put it in a nutshell, Gulf Coast meets people where they are to uplift their lives.
Jan and I have been involved with Gulf Coast since we came to town over 40 years ago. Michael Bernstein of blessed memory drafted us into the cause in the early 80s. Michael and I walked the halls of Tallahassee chasing Democratic governors, legislators, and dollars. Brent Sembler chased Republican governors, legislators, and dollars. Brent had a lot more chasing to do. That's when I realized how favorably Gulf Coast was viewed by its funders.
I was lucky enough to serve as a trustee on the board of Gulf Coast for 8 consecutive years. And I also served on the development committee during that time to help plan many of these FACES events. I currently continue to serve on the JFS advisory board. Those years gave me the opportunity to become familiar with the depth and breadth of services we offer, from birth to death and in between, as well as within the Jewish community and outside the Jewish community. I often think of Gulf Coast as a hidden jewel in our community, taking on programs that don't get attention or fanfare, but make such a huge difference for the populations they serve. Some examples include finding forever homes and foster homes for at-risk children, giving disabled adults the dignity of living semi-independently, providing seniors transportation, assisting those in need due to behavioral or mental health issues, and very importantly at this juncture in time, taking care of our Holocaust survivors as they age. For all our clients who benefit from these and so many more programs, and all the employees who make it happen, you are awe-inspiring.
We have been told that tonight's event will set a record for a fundraising event at Gulf Coast. That is due to the hard work of many people, starting with co-chairs Barbara and Judy, our new development director Sue Farley, and a loyal group of friends and family, including Erwin Novak, Stan Levy, Will Conroy, Steve Raymond, and Helen Levine. However, we think the real reason that the event has been such a big success is that Gulf Coast and we are blessed to be surrounded by generous family, friends, and partners and sponsors. Jan and I try to be as generous as we can with both our time and our money, and as life goes on, you tend to realize that those around you feel the same way. On behalf of Gulf Coast, thanks to all of you for your selfless support.
So how did Craig and I get here? Both of our core beliefs were shaped not only by our upbringings, but by watching these values be put into action in everyday life. Being kind to all, respecting others, lending a helping hand, trying to make a difference when you see a need, staying true to your faith, working toward making the world a better place for all through Tikkun Olam, repairing our broken world.
Our parents did their best to raise us with love, caring, and teaching. Judaism was at the core of our everyday life and vitally important to both our families. They allowed us to develop our own path to incorporating faith and family into our lives. Many of you know that our immediate and extended families are quite large, and that we love to invite anyone that doesn't have a place to go to join our family for holidays and celebrations. You become friends that are like family. As we like to say, we collect people.
Our parents built a foundation for us by working hard, whether in various businesses, practicing medicine, volunteering their time, or by providing a wonderful and caring home. From helping build Temple Bethel, Menorah Manor, Art Festival Bethel, providing free medical care to those in need, to countless acts of anonymous generosity, their actions spoke louder than words. If a pipe broke at my parents' hotel, my dad was the first one to go get a mop. If a new family moved to town, my mom was the first one to invite them over for dinner. If a child was sick in the middle of a cold Minnesota night, Dad Cher was the first one to put on his coat and go help them. And if you needed 60 matzah balls for Pesach, Mom Cher worked for 2 months to make sure that happened. Giving and helping others weren't chores, they were mitzvahs. Acts of kindness were as important to them as they were to those whom they benefited. Our moms and dads, Erwin and Sonia Miller and Louis and Anita Cher, along with Aunt Marilyn and Uncle Phil Benjamin and others, were and continue to be our guiding lights and role models. We stand on their shoulders. They planted the seeds for this journey through life that Craig and I have shared. We have tried to live up to their example and expectations.
I was also lucky to have two bosses in life, Charlie Ruttenberg and Mel Sembler, whose lives embodied these values. They taught me that you can learn, earn, and return simultaneously. They both encouraged, and in fact demanded, that you spend much of your working day doing what you can to improve others' lives.
So let's go back to, how did Craig and I get here? We met in college in our early 20s, married a year later, and shortly thereafter moved from Chicago to St. Pete, and have now just celebrated our 45th anniversary, all in what seems like the blink of an eye. And yes, in case you're wondering, I do deserve an award. We created an enduring partnership to move into the unknown. We always knew we would be okay because although we came from different geographies, we knew we came from similar places. Regardless of whatever else we had or didn't have, we always had each other and our families.
Over the course of those 45 years, our core values have remained constant. Dedicate yourself to family, be true to our Jewish faith, work hard for what you believe in, do good, help change the world in small and large ways. Each and every one of you on this Zoom have impacted our lives. Some of you have shown us how important family is. Some of you have shown us what great friends are in both good times and dark times. Others of you have shown us that you can be successful in life by holding and practicing moral and ethical values. You have all shown us that everything in life can be a win-win.
We have tried our hardest to model these core tenets to our children, Jessica, Allie, Stacy, and Will. As Craig would say, the video we just saw of them certainly gives us knock us up to here. Our kids have not only learned from us, but gone beyond by creating their own amazing lives. While we are certainly proud of their professional accomplishments, we are even more awed by their passion and commitment to making a difference through the causes they have chosen to support. Our kids are now our teachers. They help us to see the world through a different lens. We hope to continue to learn from them and support their efforts for many years to come. The newest and greatest joy in our lives is starting the process all over again with our grandkids, Paige, Jack, and Shay. They are already fun, caring, and loving kids and are on their way to leading incredible lives.
That brings us back to why we're here tonight. Gulf Coast helps those who need a little assistance. Whether you are hungry, a refugee, need a temporary shelter, need a boost to get you back on track, Whether you survived the horrors of the Holocaust or torture, we will do our best to be there for you.
Thanks for helping out tonight. While it's certainly an honor to be honored, we are beaming with pride and admiration for your friendship, your love, and your generosity. Thanks to all.
Jan and Craig, thank you again for showing us all the way to make our community and world a better, more humane, and love-filled place. We do want to keep this love flowing, so please know if you haven't yet, there is still time to make your contribution to the Holocaust Survivor Urgent Care Fund. Jason will give us an update in a moment of how well we are doing toward our goal.
I too want to thank everyone for your support tonight and ask two things of you before we sign off. First, please continue to learn more about how your support changes lives through Gulf Coast JFCS. Your continued support means more lives are saved and will thrive in the months and years ahead. And second, tell others about Gulf Coast JFCS. We are an expansive organization serving tens of thousands in our community, yet to many, still a well-kept secret. Help us tell the story to others and get them connected with Gulf Coast JFCS. Thank you all, and now I will turn us over to Jason one more time to announce our auction winners and the total raised tonight. Jason?
All right, thank you so much. Now, all of our honorees presentations are wrapped up. Our bid from the heart is wrapped up. We're going to check in on that in a moment. The last point of business, as far as part of this program, is to close out our auction. And in our auction, we had those 3 auction items, right? We want to show you who our top bidders are right now in our auction. And we will tell you that there is 1 minute remaining in this auction. Please don't wait to the last second. There's something called latency, and that means that the words that are coming out of my mouth are reaching people at home at different times. So I need you to put in your top bid now. So if you are the Silvermans at $10,000, if you are the Julie Clavens at $6,750, Zach Copper, Smalls, I see that at $6,250 on the Lightning Suite. They are currently my top bidders. We're going to check in on this screen again in a few moments, and we will tell you who won those auction items. So keep bidding. They will let me know here in the studio when that auction lots are all closed. We do want to take this time now to go back and look at our bid from the heart, because we left you about 30 minutes ago when our bid from the heart was less than $100,000. Our goal was $100,000, and lo and behold, people just kept giving over and over during our bid from the heart during the time since then, and we are now at $102,670. Magic continues to happen because those who love Gulf Coast love it from the bottom of their heart, and that's why they continue to give in the bid from the heart. So remember, donations can continue to come in, and we'll continue to take those donations. The auction items are still up for bid, so we're waiting to get an alert that those are closed. I can tell you that before this program, we talked a lot about which was going to sell more, the Lightning Suite for $22 or the dinner at Duncan McClellan's Gallery for $20. Right now, they're almost running neck and neck. So as soon as I see the closed icon on those items, we will wrap it all up. To date, we have 24 bids on the Duncan McClellan dinner and 20 bids on the Lightning Suite. So again, those have been hot items. And of course, that Utah home of Craig and Jan Scher that is up for bid, over $10,000 at this point. So we're going to see who we can announce as the winners of those items in just a minute. And I love the fact that they keep those names scrolling up on the screen here. You see that $102,706 from the Singers and the Civics and the Slavenskys and the Slomkas. We know Fred Gertman gave $1,000 while we were in break there. We also know Susan and Stan Levy gave $1,000 to our bid from the heart. So those donors and donations continue to come in, and we encourage you to let them keep coming in at this point. So those items are now closed. So here we do have it, folks. I do want to announce it. And you know what? I think we can put it back up on the screen one more time if we want to put those auction items up there, because we are closed on those items. Our top 3 and only 3 auction items have sold. Our Tampa Bay Lightning Suite sells for $6,250 to Zach Coppersmith Our Duncan McClellan, that's right, celebrate that. Our Duncan McClellan Gallery Party sells for $6,750 to Julie Clavins. Congratulations to Julie. And how about this? I want to keep watching my phone here. How about this? With a $10,000 donation, Craig and Jan have donated their home in Utah for a full week, and that goes to Andrea and Matt Silverman for $10,000. Let's celebrate that. Thank you for supporting Gulf Coast JFCS. Now, what's equal as important as anything is the total that we have raised at this entire event, right? What we did coming into this event was spectacular in sponsorships and ticket sales and donations. We added to that the bid from the heart. We added to that the $75,000 match of the bid from the heart. We added to that the donations that were just made in the auction. So if I can see the total number that we've raised, please, for the whole event. We're going to bring that up here in just a minute, and it will allow us to tell you, before I even announce the number, I will tell you that this is a record for Gulf Coast JFCS. Who says you can't raise money in a virtual format, right? We showed you just that. So what we did here tonight, make sure I have my numbers here appropriately. That includes our live auction, which our auction items which just closed out right there, is we raised $585,000. How about that, right? That is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations to the whole Gulf Coast family, which includes each and every one of you watching out there. Now, just because you think we're wrapping up from here in the studio does not mean the program is over, because we have got some more meet and greets, some opportunities for you to visit, not only with our honorees, Jan and Craig and Barbara, but also with much of our staff, and our chairman of the board, Eric Fader, and Dr. Sandra Bram will be in one of our meet and greets afterwards, including Terry Ballier will be there as well. So all you have to do, once again, you're watching this program on a video player. To the left on your screen, you'll find a button that shows you how to get to our post-event function, and that is our meet and greets. And we make it as easy as possible for you. Look up there on your screen. You see the button that says post-event? Go ahead and hit that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up the program here in our studio. I am Jason Alpert. I've loved being your MC and your host for this program. We want to thank our friends from Florida Digital Studios. We also want to thank Trace Kingham from Reimagining of Experiences. I was going to call it events, because your events are experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all you do for Gulf Coast JFCS. Have a great night, everybody.